How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at Scrub Games, and today we've got another of our discussion videos. And for this one, the topic is going to be the benefits of double aspects, because in the first set we were quite limited with double aspect. We're now with the second set coming out soon, basically this weekend. We have even more of a card pool, even more double aspects. So I wanted to kind of detail what the benefits are of them are. So before we get into the video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It keeps you updated with my videos as and when they drop. And by while clicking the notification bell, you can get alerts to when my videos do drop, so you can watch them there and then, or at a later time that suits you best, whichever is best. So with that all out of the way, and all done, let's get to the video and the topic at hand, being the benefits of double aspects. So, with the aspects in the game, you've got 6 aspects. You've got the 4 color ones being blue, which is Vigilance. You got green, which is Command. You got red, that's Aggression, and you got yellow, that's Cunning. And then alongside those, you have the white and black ones, being the heroic, being white, being the good side of the game, and then you got black being villainy, being the dark side of the game, like the Empire versus like rebels and stuff. So there are 3 different aspect combos you can have on any given card. So you can either have one that has a colored aspect, which majority of cards have, and then the lighter dark side on, like Restore Dark here, he's Vigilance and Heroics, is the good side of blue. And then you've got cards that have double aspect, like Bendu here, where they've got 2 blue. And then you've got things like Surgical Droid here, which only have 1 aspect, being like just one of the colored ones. Now, you see, this is important because if you want to, you can play any card you want in any deck. There's no limit to what card you play in what deck. But if you want to play a card, if any aspect doesn't match what's on your leader or base, you have to pay an extra 2 resources per aspect that doesn't match. So like Bendu here, if you had a leader that was a blue leader but with a different a base that wasn't blue, because you need 2 blue and only your leader has 1, you'd have to pay an extra 2 resources because you don't have that second blue aspect. So having 1 blue aspect on your lead doesn't cover all blue aspects, just 1 blue aspect. So if you wanted to play Bendu without incurring an extra 2 costs, you have to play a leader that is blue and a base that is blue. And these are different types of card. Like these are not like you can get different types of card. You can get events, you can upgrade, you can get units like space and ground. But these are different kind of aspect differences on the cards. And not only that, but there's only 4 different color aspects, and you don't really have dual aspects for the heroic or villainy because it doesn't really make sense. You only have 4 different aspect combinations. Well, double aspect cards being like double blue, double green, double red, or double yellow. Now there are some actual things behind the aspects themselves. Like if you want to know like what each aspect kind of gives, well, you have Vigilance, which likes to play defensively with the ability to like heal damage, remove dangerous units from play using effect like events, and also protect your base from any attacks. The Vigilance aspect is perfect for anybody who wants like a patient and like controlled playstyle and enduring even the biggest attacks in your base, like taking loads of damage and kind of enduring it and healing off. So that's Vigilance, that's blue. Then you got Command, which is the green one, and this one allows you to accelerate your resources and call upon units or strengthen units you already have in play by like giving them experience and stuff. And this is the aspect of choice for players who want to basically just go big, go wide, and just basically overwhelm opponents with a massive board presence or huge bodies. So that is green. And then you've got Aggression. So basically this allows you, it's like the name suggests, it wants you to attack with a maximum efficiency, dish out loads of damage, and is great fit for players who want to like be fast and aggressive, or have like fiery playstyles that break through like any defense that brought up and basically hurl everything at your opponent to just try and take the win. And then the last one you have for the colored aspects you have is Cunning, and this one allows you to adapt to any situation with like powerful immediate effects, or use lots of like events and stuff to kind of disrupt your opponent and basically put a spanner in the works for their plan. And this is the aspect that is perfect if you want to basically, rather than respond quickly to anything, have an answer for anything and everything, like a Swiss Army knife. Like anything your opponent throws at you, you have a way to deal with it. So that's a different kind of aspects. Go for like blue, green, blue, green, red, and yellow. And then you do have like the light and dark side, but we're not going over that because we're going over the colored aspects and their double aspect benefits. So we're going to start off with Vigilance, and we'll go over both basically the set 1 double aspect cards and set 2 double aspect cards, because the set 2 offers some more. And for set 1, wasn't meant, like as I said, I don't know if I've said it already. I think I did say it, but In set 1, when we had the double aspects, you essentially were locking yourself a whole different color and a larger card pool just to have access to these free double aspect cards. And each aspect only had really one leader that had a actually good benefit of going double aspect, where normally it would be just better to go for dual aspect, go with 2 different aspects rather than the same one double of the same one. And for Vigilance, really there was only really Iden that was really good to go for it, and even Chur as well. But with the next set with more blue cards, it makes it so you can have a better option. With a second set, just with more sets as we go on, gives it more benefit of going double cut aspects. So for set 1, you will sacrifice a whole different aspect for access to Bendu here, Protector, and Vigilance. Now in set 1, every aspect had for one of the double aspect cards being a 4-cost event that was named after the aspect itself and give you a choice of using any of the 4 different effects and using 2 of them. So for Vigilance, it was allow you to either discard the top 6 cards of your opponent's deck, like a mill strategy, heal 5 from your base to kind of heal and keep yourself in the game. Defeat a unit with 3 or less remaining HP, so kind of remove something weak, and then give a shield token to units. You had an option of going for any 2 of those 4 effects in any order you wanted to basically make use of it. And this was one of the strongest ones from set 1. It still is one of the strongest ones, and it has so much versatility. Where the other 2 double aspects weren't seen too much. Like Bendu is a very nice one, being able to it's quite a high costing Sentinel, but it comes down with some solid stats. But then to get the maximum benefit out of it, you need to attack with him. Because when he attacks, he makes the next non-light or dark, the non-villainy or heroic card you play this phase cost 2 less. You can reduce the cost of stuff, but you have to actually get him out, have him survive, and then attack with him to actually get that benefit. And it basically forces it upon the next card you want to play. What you do play that's not light or dark is reduced by 2. So you have to kind of work around making sure you're playing your sequencing quite correctly. And then Protector was a very nice one because it's a 1-cost event, a 1-cost upgrade. It gives a boost to a unit by 1/1 and gives a Sentinel, meaning it can't attack your opponent. Your opponent can't attack anything in that arena or base until that card is gone. So you can only attack that card. It can't attack anything else in the arena or the base while there's a card with Sentinel in there. So these were nice benefits, and more Vigilance given the benefit over the other 2. And then with set 2, we did get some more. So with set 2, we get Sugi here being a unit. We get Second Chance being an upgrade, and we get Midnight Repairs being a event. So Sugi's quite a nice one. 4 costs with 4/6, pretty good stats for its cost. Becomes a Sentinel if your opponent has an upgraded unit on, so anything upgrade, be it can even be an experience or a shield on something, gives her Sentinel, and she can even smuggle which one of the new cards in. So you can play this in double aspect to kind of basically pay it for 4 from your hand, or you can play it in any other deck as long as it's blue, because you can then either hardcast it for 6 because you have the aspect penalty for having only 1 blue, or you can smuggle it for the same cost because then it just needs 1 blue and 6 cost for a smuggle, meaning it's an easy card to resource and then something to play out later from your resources. You also have Second Chance, which seems like a very good legendary, so double blue, once again, it's never legendary in its double aspect, and it's an upgrade, which is quite costly at 4, but has a very strong effect to make it so when the card equipped with it is defeated, you can free play it back out from your discard at any point during the phase, if it's been taken out. And then you've got Midnight Repair as being an interesting one. It's a 2-cost event that allows you to heal up 8 total damage from any number of units. So basically just a heal of 8 across your board. Now, most of the time when things when they're taken out or damaged, don't normally take out straight away. It's not often that things had a little bit chip damage and then they survive, not often. But this is a really nice one for things like Chirrut, where you can basically is a leader which when it comes out, it can be killed by damage. And this is a great way to heal off a load of damage. It survives longer, and this is taken out by an event that insta-kills it. So with set 2, we get some more double aspects, and there aren't many leaders still that kind of get the best benefit of them. So you do have for the dark side, you do have good options with Iden as a strong set 1, a strong one for set 1 that went double blue anyway for that one, and now gets more options for 2, mainly making use of Vigilance for just 4 rather than 6, because Vigilance was one that was played out of aspect, because it's worth it for just 6 costs for what it does. With Iden, if you normally run it with a blue base, to kind of use it for 4 to kind of make the best use of it, and then add with the healing the leader already provides. Then you have Gar Saxon being a pretty nice one that could be pretty good for set 2 with double blue, because you get Protector, and this is a really nice upgrade because 1 Gar Saxon is deployed. he gives all upgraded units an extra +1 power and a when defeated effect, allowing you to get back an upgrade from it when that card's destroyed or defeated. So you can protect John Sonic to kind of keep attacks away from Guy. Then when that unit that's equipped with it gains extra +1 power from Guy, and then when that unit is defeated, protecting Guy Saxon, you can get the protector back to then shove it back on another card to kind of keep making you sure you've got a Sentinel to keep Guy Saxon away from being attacked. So you're like basically still in the battle, but is protected by your other units. And then for the good side, because I've tried to go for like the show the bad, like the dark side and the good side, what they offer. And for the good side, you've got kind of Chirrut and Ray that are good options for go double aspects. Because Chirrut, as you can see there with its effect, during the action phase, this unit isn't defeated by having no remaining HP, meaning if you do enough damage that normally would take it out, he isn't defeated until it comes to the end of the turn and goes to the regroup phase, and he would be defeated. But with things like Midnight Repairs, if your opponent does like enough damage and leaves it there to kind of have enough damage on the defeat at the end, you can always just Midnight Repairs to heal a ton of damage. 8 damage is a lot to take off, especially if you like upgrade Chirrut so he gains more health and more power. It becomes even harder and harder to kill unless you want, and then you have to resort to using effects to kind of take him out. And then Ray's quite a nice one because she is a quite unique leader in the fact that she has Restore Free on the leader, meaning that when she's deployed, when she attacks, you heal 3 up your base, which is very good healing. And normally you want to kind of protect her from attacks and keep her out and keep her alive. And things like Protector and Bendu are very nice ones that kind of have cards with Sentinel to kind of keep attacks away from Ray, while she just powers things up with her on attack, and also heals your base to kind of keep you in the game as long as possible to secure a victory. So that's a double blue aspect. So that's what like kind of the benefits you have for a double blue there. And then we have Command. Now for Command for set 1, it had pretty terrible cards because General Krill seemed pretty good, being a unit where whenever friendly units gain when defeated draw cards. While Krill's out, if any of your other units was defeated, you draw a card because they're defeated. But it's a 5-cost 5/4, so it's not the best stats, not the best like quite expensive for its stats, and also had to stay on board and like keep it about to get the benefit of it, which wasn't great, and I don't think anybody ever managed to successfully do it, and if they did, then congrats to you. Then you have Attack Pattern Delta, which is a 3-cost event, so quite cheap, but then it requires you to have a multitude of about at least 3 units on board to kind of give a benefit to them, because when you play it, you give one of your units plus 3 for the phase, then you give a different unit plus 2/2 for the phase, and you give a third one extra 1/1 for the phase. You boost up 3 units, 3 different units. You can't do it on the same one, and you need a board set up. And if your board's constantly being cleared or you can't get this out, it's not really worth playing double aspect for it. And then the only reason to play double aspect for Command in set 1 was for Command itself, because this is a event just like I said with Vigilance. Is a 4-cost event that gives you any 2 or 4 options, and for the Command, it was give 2 experience to 2 units, power up a unit by 2/2. Allow a friendly unit to deal damage equal to its power to a non-unique unit, which is not great because where it has to hit a non-unique unit, you couldn't hit a majority of good cards. You had to hit like the non-unique ones that you didn't really care about too much, which wasn't great. If it hit a unique unit still, like hit any unit, that would actually be really good, but sadly the fact doesn't. You can put into play as a resource as one of the 3 ramp cards you had access to. So if you want to play the full amount of ramp, you have to go double colorless. Double green. And then the other option is to return a unit from your discard pile to your hand, meaning you can get back units you've lost, basically play it again after your opponent trying to take it out, or if it got milled out. So that was set 1. So set 1 wasn't great. Really, only Hera was Hera and Palpatine were really the kind of leaders you could play, but more Hera as a way to actually play her and actually play her well, whereas Palpatine you can play the different other aspects and still do well with them. And for set 2, we get some better, like double command gets a lot better with not a lot better, but a bit better with its double aspect cards, because you get some quite nice ones. You get Enterprise and Lackeys being a very good unit at a 4-cost 5/5, which is very good stats to its cost. And if it is defeated, you can defeat one of your resources and then put this card into play as a resource, so that way you can smuggle it back out again, because it's got a smuggle cost being 6 for double green, meaning you can always have a unit to play by switching it when it's defeated, switching it with one of your resources. Very nice card. Then you got a bit more draw as well, thanks to Force Loyalty, which is a 2-cost event that basically forces you to kill one of your units, and then if you do kill one of your units, you draw two cards. So kind of way to draw 2, Kind of like almost like a pot of greed. You just with a restriction that you have to kill something, draw 2 cards, but then if it's something that has a winner defeated, you can get a good benefit like super laser technician kind of thing. And then you've got Endless Legions here. This one is like a really big end game kind of one. Very expensive. I think the most expensive card in the game, being a 14. But it allows you to reveal any number of your resources you control, and then play each unit revealed this way for free. So you can free play out any resource, any events you sorry, not events, any units you have in your resources out for free to amass a board. But then you'd have to ramp very quickly to try and get to it. But then you can with having things like command, resupply, and other ramp cards to kind of get you to there as quickly as possible. We're also charging 1 every turn. Now, the benefits for double command, while they aren't like the best, like it's still better than some, but this is probably the worst aspect double aspect combination at the moment with set 2. But you do have some good ways to use it. So you have Palpatine, very good one because you can use things like command and all the other ramp cards kind of ramp up as quickly as possible. So you can deploy Palpatine and then get out to a point where you can play Endless Legion, the spam out all the different space units you can get for all the huge spaceships and huge units that the dark side has, and it's win out from just taking out the game from there, just having a board your opponent cannot deal with. And then we got Hondo as well, being a nice one because he's got the Enterprise and Lackeys, and Hondo's all about using smuggle, like all about the smuggle keyword. So you want to make the best use of it, and having a card you can keep smuggling over and over again every time. If I wins defeat, go back in your resource, you can smuggle out again, and be able to use him to give when you do smuggle, give things experience. Is a very good combination if you want to try it. And yeah, it's just basically some like the 2 ones that I feel for the dark side kind of benefit most from command. So the biggest benefits for the dark side. And then for the light side, once again, Hera is like the best way to play is probably with the double aspect, because that way you get the maximum amount of ramp, so you can kind of get outplays and actually do things with it. Because she doesn't have the best kind of like leader effect. She does have a nice thing where you can get ignore the aspect penalty on Spectre, so you get like a larger card pool than most do when it comes to double aspect. But that's all she really offers, and her like effectiveness and how great she is depend on how many specters there are. And since we didn't get any in set 2, and only had a few in set each of them in set 1, she hasn't really gained anything much from the second set, apart from like a few more like just standard command units that could help her actually basically have more options than what she had in set 1. And then you got Jabba be an interesting one. So you can this one is one that once again is a never leader that kind of deploys late. Like you get a fair few of the green ones that deploy quite late, but you get access to like commands, so you can kind of ramp up to get Jabba out quicker. And Jabba has an effect to kind of make it so you can play units cheaper by putting a bounty on your opponent's card, and then when you take it out, you place like the next unit you play is cheaper. So you can kind of do that. And you also have things like enforced loyalty, where you can kill off things that little units or little cards that you're just attacking with, and then basically draw more cards, have more options to do more things as well. So that's the benefit to double commands. They're not the double command isn't the best going in set 2, and why it wasn't the worst. It's dropped down to probably be the worst one of the double aspects, but the one that has kind of gone at sharps in set 2 is aggression. So with set 1, it was never worth playing double aggression for any of the units, any of the red leaders. There's no point in going double red. It was always best going with a different aspect with it. But now with set 2, you get a better way and like a more reason to play double aspect, because you got more just red cards in general, so actually better red options that are red, and also you get some even better double aspect cards to kind of move up a little bit as one of the probably like the third best. Yeah, probably like the third best double aspect combination. And for set 1, you had Saw Gerrera being a very interesting unit, being 4 cost, 5/4, so a little bit cheaper than Krill and like the same stats, but then had an actual effect that kind of was a little bit better than Krill. They didn't need like other cards to kind of help, which is if your opponent wants to play any event, they got to deal 2 damage to their base to do it. So as a additional cost, they have to pay 2 if they want to play an event, which was pretty cool. Forced to push out more damage like aggression wants to do, and having decent stats for a unit. Then you had Rallying Cry being a very nice one if you can get a huge board, which you really couldn't do too well with double red in set 1. And it allows you to give all your friendly units raid 2, meaning that when any of your units this phase attack, They basically gain an extra two power when they attack. Then you have aggression, which is probably which was at the time the worst one of the double aspect cards, because the options weren't as great as what the everyone's offer. So for this one, it offers you either the draw card, defeat up to 2 upgrades, ready a unit with 3 or less power, and deal 4 damage to a unit. Now these are all these are mostly all things that other cards in aggression did, like a little bit cheaper. Like if you wanted to deal 4 damage to a unit but didn't care about the rest, you can just do that for free cost using open fire. If you want to ready a unit with 3 or less power, you have the 2 cost event that could do the same, so it's like half the cost. Then defeat up some upgrades. You had other cards like Mandalorian, the Mandalorian and Fangfire, allowing you to, the Sabling Fire. Sorry, it's a Mandalorian unit, and you had that to kind of play out as a body on board, and also take off an upgrade off a unit. Like you won't take off 2, but you take off 1, and draw a card. Drawing 1 card doesn't make a huge difference, especially paying 4 is not worth it going with the other different ones as well. So you would end up paying more just to also draw a card and replace it off in hand, or also get off one of the other things you can play for cheaper. And it's all about the resources, rather than the hang size. So those are the ones we had for set 1. And for set 2, we got it a little bit better, where we got Bo-Katan being a very nice one, a very good unit, being a 2-cost 3/3, which is very good stats, especially when we saw with the Battlefield Marine. Very good stats for its cost, and also has a nice little effect as well to go with it, where when defeated, for each player with 15 or more damage on the base, you draw a card. So the more damage you put out, even on your base or your opponent's base, so if you're playing against an opponent one-on-one, and they've got 15 damage on your base, and you've got 15 damage on yours, when this is defeated, because both of you are players, you'll draw 2 cards from this, because both of you have 15 damage or more on base. So a pretty nice thing for a later turn of the game. You have the Wild Rancor being a pretty interesting unit, being a 6-cost 6/8. So high costing at 6, but comes with really good stats. Also has Overwhelm, so any excess damage on a unit when it defeats one gets dealt to your opponent's base, but also has effect where one comes down, it deals 2 damage to each other ground unit. Now you could go majority of space, because red does have a very good cheap space units you can kind of swarm from for the beginning, and then play Rancor to kind of come down and just chuck damage out for ground units, and even goes well with things like Bombing Run. And another one you got that's really good to kind of help finish off the game with double red now is the Chaos of War, being a 3-cost event, so a second 3-cost event double aspect card, and this one deals damage to each player's base, both you and your opponent, equals to the number of cards in that player's hands. So if you do enough damage, they've got a lot of cards in hand, you can finish off a finishing blow using this, which is really cool, and just gives aggression more ways to kind of finish out the game alongside things like For a Cause of Believing. Now, as you'll notice, this is the only aspect combination that only has 1 legendary. So it only had 1 legend, double aspect red for aggression. Has only had 1 double legendary unit, legendary card for its double aspect, being just aggression for set 1. For set 2, it didn't get another legendary double aspect card like the other ones did. But for the different leaders you want to do and probably get the most benefit out of going double aspect is things like IG-8, because he's got a great effect where when he is deployed, each ever friendly unit gains raid 1. So you put that with Rallying Cry or Swarming a Ball with loads of cheap units. You give all friendly units an extra raid 2, so IG-8 gets raid 2. All the other units get raid 3, meaning when they're swinging, they're getting 3 extra power when they swing. So if you can chuck out a load of cheap units, it's quick, just fill your deck up with loads of cheap units, chuck them out, just keep play out as many as possible. You can then deploy IG-8 and just swing for a low damage wide, especially with Rallying Cry. And even got Bo-Katan as even better, strong, cheap units you can play out as well to kind of get more units on there and basically swing hard. And you got things like Kylo Ren as well. He's got a unique effect where before he's deployed, when he's in the lead area, he's got an effect that allows you to discard a card from your hand and tap him to give a 2 power boost to a unit on board by discarding a card. And then when he's deployed, he gets -1 power for each card in your hand. So the more cards you hand, the weaker he is, but the less cards you have in your hand, the better. And that ties in really well with Chaos of War, where you want to be very aggressive because he comes out as early as turn, as early as 4 resources, which is the earliest in the game, alongside things like Sabine. So being able to just chuck down, give boosts to leaders, and empty your hand quickly, you can then basically put in a lot of pressure, a lot of aggression to your opponent, and then finish them off by doing as much damage as you can with Chaos of War to them, while doing minimal damage to yourself. So that's the dark side of double aggression. And for the light side, you've got Sabine Wren being a very good one to go with, because not only do you get a dark saber to kind of be able to use of Sabine because she is a Mandalorian, but you also get like access to like running like swarm aboard with all like already good units being has for being an aggressive deck. Plus things like Bo-Katan being more like ground units that you can play that are quite strong, and also Rallying Cry as well to like make use of like spamming out things like A Squadron A-Wing or just a huge board, and just pushing damage hard, and even like making your units stronger while you just keep going ham. And you got things like Han Solo as well. Han Solo's a really good one because he can play out things a lot cheaper and like span the board quite quickly. Because his effect allows you to play a unit from your hand for 1 less. You play a unit like that's cheaper than your actual energy, and then put 2 damage on it. Now damage doesn't matter when you're just basically trying to play things out as quickly as possible and just swinging as hard and as fast as possible, like being as aggressive as you can, and having Rallying Cry to then boost up everything you've done, then spam down is a good way to kind of like clear games and aggro down as quickly as possible. So like double aggression's gone up from being the worst double aspect to being a very good one, potentially like third. I would say third, like almost coming in second, but still a lot better than it was before. And now for the last one, we have double Cunning, and this was the best double aspect combination for set 1 because all 3 of its units were very good. Well, all three of its double aspect cards in set 1 were very good. You had Bodhi Rook being a very solid turn 2 play, being a 3-cost 3/3, so very good stats for its cost, and had a nice little effect to look at your opponent's hand, get that hand knowledge, and discard anything that's not a unit from the hand, being any upgrade or event. Very handy against control decks in certain matchups as well, because you not only get that hand knowledge, but you get to take out something from your opponent's hand. So while you've used up a card in your hand playing this to the board, your opponent's also lost a card, but at least you've established something on the board, but they've just lost a card for no reason. You got Cantina Bouncer, which wasn't the best in terms of cost stats, like 5 cost, 3/5, not too bad, but has a very destructive effect because since everything comes in play rested and can't attack the same turn it's played unless otherwise stated. Cantina Bouncer is a really nice one to just play out. Like opponent spent most of their turn playing like paying for a big card, and you just play Cantina Bouncer to put something on your board and put it back in their hands. You have to play it down again and wait a turn to be able to use it. And then you have Cunning being probably the best of the events, of the double aspect events, because its always effects are really good. Because the effects are either to return a non-leader unit with 4 or less power to its hand, be able to bounce back something, and basically make your opponent have to wait a turn and play that unit back out again. Give extra 4 power to a unit for the phase, being to make it more aggressive and hit harder. Exhaust 2 units so you can kind of hold off 2 attacks, and the other one being, or the last one being, an opponent discards a random card from hand, so randomly hitting hand control, which is very good to help destruct decks, and even control decks, and just basically being random means you could potentially hit something that you didn't want to hit, or maybe just hit something that you didn't care about. So that's already really strong, and for the next set they do get some more, but unfortunately, because I think not Bandai, it's getting the wrong game here, but I think with the Star Wars game, they kind of realized that the double aspect for Cunning was already way too good, and it's basically really good, that they decided to only give it 2 double aspects for the second set. So while all the rest I've now got 6 cards at a double aspect, Yellow only has 5, because it only gets 2 new ones, and that is New Adventure, and this one's a really nice one. A 2-cost one, so quite a cheap one, allowing you to return any non-leader unit that costs 6 or less to its owner's hand, then play it back out for free. And this is especially good when you got things like a Fet's Fire Spirit that's been out for every turn. You can swing with it for 5, bounce it back the hand, play it back down again for 2, basically for free, comes inactive as long as you got Boba, and then swing again, which is 10 damage for very cheap, you can finish off games. And you even got Final Showdown as a way to finish off games as well. Because it's a 6-cost event, so quite expensive, but then again, we've seen things like Change of Heart are expensive, but very good given the situation or the matchup. And this allows you to ready each of your units you control, and at the end of the regroup phase, you lose the game if you haven't already won. So the fact to be able to like build out a big board, and then your opponent just take the initiative, and you still got 6 resources, you can just play this out, restand everything, swing again, and finish off the game. So your opponent has to now be careful if you're able to get 6 or more resources, or at least 6 resources, and a load of things on board. Because if they pass and you can do this, you're most likely going to win a game that turn, and they can't do anything about it because they've given up all the rest of their actions for the turn by taking the initiative. And some of the best ways, once again, Boba's going to stay as one of the best ways to play double aspect, because it already was the best one to play double aspect for set 1, having us like making use of all 3 of them, especially with like Boba, hand control, Cunning make good use of it, and also triggering Boba's effect, and even the Cantina Bouncer, be able to trigger Boba's effect by bouncing something off board, meaning it gets something off board, so that way Boba could untap more resources using it, so basically pay 5 but then get back resources so you didn't use as much. Essentially making it a pseudo 4 to 3 cost maybe, or maybe a pseudo 2 cost. And even things like, like I said before, as well, New Adventure being a very good combination with Boba's Fet's Fire Spray to kind of like have, if you already got a house, swing for 10 damage at a turn very cheaply. And even, well, we get Cad Bane as another like underworld bounty hunter we get in set 2. And he's one that can also do very well with the double aspect, doing the kind of same thing as Boba, but allowing to ping out like damage across, not getting back more resources to play more things, but able to ping out damage the more you use underworld cards. And considering that the majority of the yellow cards in set 1 were underworld, thanks to having Boba and Han Solo as their leaders, and what are some of the leaders from it, you got a load of bounty hunter and underworld cards in set 1, and even more for set 2 as well. So you get like more benefits from that, and also Cunning is probably one of the best reasons to go double aspect. And then for the light side, I couldn't really think of any of the heroic ones because apart from Jin, because Han Solo didn't really want to go for that. You want to go for a different aspect. You don't want to go mono. And even for the ones in set 1, like I don't know if any of the ever like Fennec or Lando, I don't think you want to go double aspect for them either. You want to go with different aspects to get more benefits. Whereas Jin, you can go double Cunning for like a bit of hand control, like using like Bodhi, Cunning, Spark Rebellion, stuff like that, to kind of go for a more hand control route, which it's kind of made not as great with Smuggle, but then there's still not even that many Smuggle cards. There are some, but there's not as many as you'd think. So that is it. So that is it about like, the benefits of double aspects. So there's the leaders that I feel are like the best ways to play them, and also what they kind of give and what they offer for having those double aspect cards. Because where you limit yourself to just one aspect, with set 2 you've got a lot more cards, but still you're very limited for like kind of things you want to do. But you've got these really strong double aspect cards that can help you do amazing things. Like double aggression is something I'm looking forward to trying out for this next set, and also some more double vigilance, some more double cunning, and maybe even try and double command Palpatine as well to see if Endless Legions is actually a good play, or if it's just a fun, casual, like silly play to do. But that's it for me today. Let me know down below what you are looking forward to with the double aspects, what you think about the double aspects, and also any comments you have around this video. It's great to help out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.
Like a boss.